This is Christian Swain, the CEO of Pantheon Sports. The Super Bowl may be over, but sports fans, it's time to shift gears because basketball season is just heating up. And you know what makes the action even better? Playing along with Prize Picks, the best place for real money daily fantasy sports action. With over 10 million members and billions in awarded winnings, Prize Picks makes it easy. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player projections for a shot at winning up to 1,000 times your cash. And you know what makes the action even better? Playing along with Prize Picks, the best place for real money daily fantasy sports action. With over 10 million members and billions in awarded winnings, Prize Picks makes it easy. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player projections for a shot at winning up to 1,000 times your cash. All-Star Weekend is almost here, and Prize Picks is where the real fans play. Whether it's the three-point contest, the dunk showdown, or the big game itself, Prize Picks lets you get in on the action. This week, I'm locking in my lineup with Jason Tatum for more than 29 points and Anthony Edwards for more than 25. Plus, I've got Anthony Davis for more than 12 rebounds and Luka Doncic for more than 8 assists. I like my odds. And the best part, Prize Picks pays fast. I cashed out in just 15 minutes last week. Ready to get started? Sign up today and use code Pantheon to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's right. You play just $5 and boom, you get $50 free. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code Pantheon to cash in before All-Star Weekend. That's code Pantheon, Pantheon, for an instant $50 bonus. So don't just watch the game, play the game with Prize Picks. Pick your players, lock in your lineup, and run your game. Sign up now at the link in the description because basketball season is just getting started.
Now at Verizon Business, every business can get the new Samsung Galaxy S25 Plus. Whether you're a new customer, loyal customer, or returning customer, this one's for you, you, and you on America's most reliable 5G network. Get the new Galaxy S25 Plus on us, powered by Verizon Business. 256 gigabyte on us. New device payment purchase agreement, select trade-in, and business unlimited plan required. Credit varies by smartphone trade-in, applied to account over agreement term up to 36 months. Terms apply. Limited time offer.
This episode is brought to you by Nerds Gummy Clusters, the sweet treat that always elevates the vibe. With a sweet gummy surrounded with tangy, crunchy nerds, every bite of Nerds Gummy Clusters brings you a whole new world of flavor. Whether it's game night, on the way to a concert, or kicking back with your crew, unleash your senses with Nerds Gummy Clusters.
Hey everyone. Welcome to this edition of Keep Watch Pass on the It's Not That Bad podcast channel, a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. You know, when you think about actors with a very, not just refined, but decorated, illustrious filmography, it goes to think that when you address an actor with that kind of filmography, you better start with Sir. So today, we're looking at the filmography of one Sir Anthony Hopkins. And here to join me to go down this very illustrious filmography, my lovely wife, Carrie. Carrie, how are you doing?
I am doing fantastic, Sir Jay.
Ah, Dame Carrie, welcome to the show.
Remember when I had you knighted?
Okay, so you can't just lead in with that and go, okay, we went to medieval times.
Medieval times.
It is not, it doesn't count in certain provinces and states. Only in our minds does my knighthood actually prevail. So for one episode and one episode alone, you may refer to me as Sir, I will refer to you as Dame, and we shall address our audience as we talk about Sir Anthony Hopkins. I'm going to stop that now because it's going to get real annoying real fast.
Oh, no, I think you should do the whole episode in Thespian.
In Thespian?
Yes.
Which apparently is a dialect. Okay.
It is now.
Okay, so, okay. You get the explanation and then I'll talk normally. So for a very special episode of movies starring the one and only Sir Anthony Hopkins. We will be picking 3 movies each: a keepeth, a watcheth, and a passeth. The keepeth is one that the movie itself, no matter the title, should start with Sir or Dame. The watch is one that will at least be allowed into the kingdom, and the pass shall be hung at the end of the show. And so to you, my dear love, I ask of you, what is your keepeth film of movies starring Sir Anthony Hopkins? And that's where I stop right now.
Well, that was quite elegant.
I thought so.
I liked it. Elegant or eloquent?
Right now, people
yes.
right now, people are listening to this show going, what the is he on? But let's get down to business here. Your keep film starring Anthony Hopkins.
Well, it is a holiday staple around the house, and I loves me some Grinch. So I'm going to go with The Grinch That Stole Christmas, and narrated by Sir Anthony Hopkins.
There are certain actors that no matter what the film, if it's narrated by them, you know you're at least in for an audible good time. And yes, Anthony Hopkins has to be in that list of just absolutely mesmerizing, eloquent voices. Obviously, you're going to put Morgan Freeman into the list. Obviously, you're going to put the late, great James Earl Jones into the list. I personally will throw Keith David onto that list anytime. But Anthony Hopkins is definitely in there when it comes to narration voice. But this film also really did the impossible. It took a Dr. Seuss story, classic, and turned it into something absolutely cinematic. And that is a feat. Like, when you consider how big a Dr. Seuss story can be, and to do it live action with a lot of practical effects, like, this is an absolute cinematic wonder.
Well, even the makeup and costuming for the Grinch,
Mhm.
I mean, that's hard to pull off.
Practical effects, yes.
And to look good. And I think they did well with it.
Right? And of course, like, because we are, hard rock and metal heads over here, we have to give a tip of the hat to lead singer of the Pretty Reckless, Taylor Momsen, of course, who was Cindy Lou Who. But yeah, this was the kind of film that needed just a total classy, definitely British narration. And to get that from Mr. Anthony Hopkins, it just soothes you into the story, right? And that's the thing. How many times I know we read The Grinch Stole Christmas to our kids. Parents who are listening to this show, how many times did you read this story to your kids? And no matter how old you are, you probably remember having this story read to you when you were a kid. Like, this is like almost ingrained into every childhood, or at least it should. And there's just something about the way that Anthony Hopkins narrates that makes it feel. I'm surprised I get through the beginning of this film, because it's story time when he starts talking. And I want a nap. And the minute he starts talking, but the movie is so good that I can't nap. This is the challenge that we have with this film. But it's a good challenge to have. I'm going to be Captain Obvious with my pick here. So just hang with me here. Phase 1 of the MCU was, one would argue, hit and miss. The first Iron Man film, undeniable. Absolutely all good. The Incredible Hulk, I know it has its detractors. I liked it. I did. Iron Man 2, I could give or take. Captain America, the First Avenger, again, had its charms. Thor had no right being as good as it was, considering just how epic the comic book line is. Like, if you want to really get a gist as to what this could have been in a really bad way, go back. And I know these episodes are on YouTube, so go back and find the old 1960s Marvel animated TV shows that looked a lot like Rocket Robin Hood. And they had one for Thor, complete with the Rainbow Bridge and Loki looking very, very like Richard E. Grant-esque Loki. It could have been really bad. It could have been so bad. But then you put this cast in there. I mean, Chris Hemsworth is Thor. There's no question about this. Tom Hiddleston is Loki. And the funny thing is, when you think about it, Tom Hiddleston auditioned for Thor.
Yeah, I can't see that.
Yeah, no.
But he did an amazing job with Loki.
Well, let's be honest. For the first 3 phases, Loki was one of the best characters. And his death at the hand, and I say hand because it was one hand, of Thanos, like that was really to begin Infinity War with killing Loki. Spoiler alert. But
well, he was so damn good, he got his own series.
no, exactly, right? You can't keep a good Marvel character down. And you have this film directed by Kenneth Branagh, like someone who deals with Shakespeare on a regular basis, someone who was nominated for Best Director Oscar for Henry V in 1989, although lost to Oliver Stone for Born on the 4th of July. This film could not have been in better hands. And Anthony Hopkins as Odin, mwah, chef's kiss casting, like all the way through the Thor series. So even when Odin finally lets go of his, immortal coil and goes like Stardust, they'll, releasing Hela and Thor Ragnarok, like it was sad to see him pass on in Ragnarok. But I think he brought the perfect temperament of hard love in Odin. And like, really, you needed someone of that kind of stature in their acting career, of that kind of stage presence. Because really, Anthony Hopkins on any soundstage is there and ever present and commanding every scene. So when Odin loses it on Thor and takes his hammer and banishes him to Earth, like every kid who has ever f***ed up so bad as to be banished to the room because their parent does not want to look at you. Odin is every pissed off parent.
Right.
But the thing is, the way he delivers it, it's not that he's mad. Odin is, and I'm going to say this word, and I'm going to trigger some listeners here. Odin was disappointed. He had so much hope, and he was so very disappointed.
See, that's worse than the yelling, screaming parent. That's
Yeah, exactly.
The silent treatment right there.
Yeah, because here's the thing. If the parent yells and screams at what's on, in about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, they're going to sit there and come back and going, look, I'm sorry I yelled at you, but, you really kind of messed up. And like, no. Odin was disappointed. And right now, people are going, oh. Yeah.
In there.
Yeah, listeners, you all know that time. You all know that time you screwed up so bad that you didn't just get yelled at, you got disappointed. Right now, people are right now calling their therapist going, we need to talk again. I need a session. But no, this film was so good. It looked good. It was cast so well. Thor could have been the film that ruined the MCU in phase 1. And instead, I felt it elevated phase 1 to show exactly what the MCU was going to be. Part and parcel to Mr. Anthony Hopkins.
This is Christian Swain, the CEO of Pantheon Sports. The Super Bowl may be over, but sports fans, it's time to shift gears because basketball season is just heating up. And you know what makes the action even better? playing along with Prize Picks, the best place for real money daily fantasy sports action. With over 10 million members and billions in awarded winnings, Prize Picks makes it easy. Just pick more or less on at least 2-player projections for a shot at winning up to 1,000 times your cash. And you know what makes the action even better? Playing along with Prize Picks, the best place for real money daily fantasy sports action. With over 10 million members and billions in awarded winnings, Prize Picks makes it easy. Just pick more or less on at least 2-player projections for a shot at winning up to 1,000 times your cash. All-Star Weekend is almost here, and Prize Picks is where the real fans play. Whether it's the three-point contest, the dunk showdown, or the big game itself, Prize Picks lets you get in on the action. This week, I'm locking in my lineup with Jason Tatum for more than 29 points and Anthony Edwards for more than 25. Plus, I've got Anthony Davis for more than 12 rebounds and Luka Doncic for more than 8 assists. I like my odds. And the best part, Prize Picks pays fast. I cashed out in just 15 minutes last week. Ready to get started? Sign up today and use code Pantheon to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's right. You play just $5 and boom, you get $50 free. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code Pantheon to cash in before All-Star Weekend. That's code Pantheon, Pantheon, for an instant $50 bonus. So don't just watch the game, play the game with Prize Picks. Pick your players, lock in your lineup, and run your game. Sign up now at the link in the description because basketball season is just getting started.
Girl, you have got to try this Laneige lip mask. Trust me, my lips needed that love. Love these vanilla vibes from Kayali. That top note is just so smooth. Smooth and stunning. That's what you get with this K18 hair mask.
Those brands everybody's talking about, they're at Sephora. Discover the hype with the hottest names in beauty, including Laneige, KLE, K18, and Rare Beauty. Click or tap the banner to discover the next big thing. Only at Sephora.
Every cup of Nespresso coffee is an invitation to transform your morning routine into a ritual you can treasure each and every day. Using the Virtuo Pop, a simple touch of the button freshly brews bold aromas and a rich, velvety crema layer for delicious cafe-quality coffee at home. Whether you enjoy your coffee hot or over ice, every sip, every morning is unforgettable. Nothing tastes like Nespresso coffee. Visit Nespresso.com or our app to explore our full range of easy-to-use machines and coffees not found anywhere else.
So it's almost like you were reading my notes because I have to say I agree with you.
Whoa, no. Please, dear listeners, record this episode for posterity. Make it your ringtone. So anytime anyone gets a phone call, it's just the sound of Carrie going, I agree with you.
You are right.
No. Don't let me interrupt. Let's get a clean take on that one here.
You are completely right on Thor being my watch.
Okay.
It's almost like you read my notes because honestly, all of the points that you brought up. Now, my only disagreements, or I'm going to go with Thor Ragnarok, only because the death of Odin was the great unifier, I think, of Thor and Loki. I mean, it was really that moment where, you know, brothers are going to fight, but the moment that they lose their father is that unifying moment.
That soliloquy, looking out, and I don't know if they were in Ireland, because it felt like they were in Ireland at that point, but really that moment, that soliloquy of Odin as he's, you know, really tugging at the heartstrings. And it's that line of, I love you, my sons. And then Loki's reaction of,
yeah, this isn't good.
Right? Whoa. No, he called me. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the beauty part about, think about that trio, right? And you know, not to do diss mom on this, but really it's this father, son, and adopted son dynamic that really, like Rene Russo was great as Frege, but you have the son anointed to take over Asgard. Always was. Always going to be. And the son that was adopted and never really felt like part of the family. Just that moment, that scene. That is, for lack of a better term, that is such a Shakespearean self-eulogy, right? That's the perfect goodbye. That's the kind of speech that you want out of the Doctor in their last episode before Regeneration. Like, and there have been some good ones. There have been some fantastic ones. Sometimes it's short, says it all. David Tennant's, I don't want to go. Matt Smith's just beautiful last scene. Even Jodie Whittaker's, Doctor Whoever I'm going to be, tag you're it. But this was poetry, that scene alone. The rest of the film is fantastic too. But yeah, Anthony Hopkins just, in his passing, in that scene, set everyone on this wild freaking adventure. And Ragnarok is, one could argue Ragnarok might be the best Phase 3 film. It's up there. I would love to hear from the listeners what they thought their top Phase 3 film was. Most of them will probably put Ragnarok, if not at the top. And I'm taking the Avengers films out of the equation. Infinity War is the greatest superhero film that ever superheroed. But of non-tentpole films, Ragnarok might be up there. For my watch film, I'm going with a completely different franchise. And one you might not expect out of me. I'm going with The Mask of Zorro.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
This is an absolutely fantastic film. First of all, Antonio Banderas as the man who would put on the mask and the cape and the mantle of Zorro. I mean, that is no-brainer casting. It really is. And then you get Catherine Zeta-Jones. Lovely as always. But then you say who to play the original Zorro, who to play the man to guide Antonio Banderas in the ways of the mask and the cape. Well, let's get us a good old Englishman, Anthony Hopkins, as Don Diego de la Vega. And yet somehow it works. This casting should not have worked as well as it did. But Anthony Hopkins hops into this role, has the world of fun with, and that's the other thing too. This film, it is popcorn good time. Like, just so much fun. It is everything you want of like The Mummy and Indiana Jones and like really all the great black and white serials of the day. This was a fantastic addition to basically the legend of Zorro. And I don't know if I would have necessarily cast Anthony Hopkins if I was in the casting chair. I know they were originally looking to add Sean Connery, which, if you're not going to get an Englishman, you might as well get a Scottishman. And Raul Julia was also in the mix, but unfortunately he passed away before they actually got to filming the film. Raul Julia would have been fantastic. But I feel disappointed because we don't get to talk about this film because it sits in like the 80% area on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, the sequel, that one qualifies. Anthony Hopkins saves the day as Don Diego de la Vega, the original Zorro. All right, so since we've already done your watch pick, we're going to jump ship here a little bit and go right to your pass pick.
Back to me. Okay, well, this was a hard choice because Sir Anthony Hopkins is so fantastic.
Oh, the man can do no wrong.
In all of the roles that he has chosen, I went with a property that I admit I've not seen, so it's an easy pass. And mainly because it's not my genre of choice.
Okay.
So this has nothing to do with, it must be fantastic because the trailer looked fantastic. I understand that it evolved, not to be too obvious. But I am going to pass on Beowulf.
Okay.
Now, only because like the whole medieval Game of Thrones genre is really not my thing.
Right.
It's really not. And then, it was made into a video game, which I can absolutely see, at least from what I saw in the trailer. It definitely looks like a fantastic property. And so absolutely no disrespect. It was just an easy pass because I haven't seen it.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be tough anytime you take a legendary story like Beowulf, right? And this story has been around for Lord knows how long, and try to adapt it to the big screen. And if you're going to try to do it in a way that's made for modern audiences, it's either going to work or it's going to not. And I'll admit I have not seen this one yet, but because it's your pass, I'm assuming that it's not. And the thing is, I would have no problem giving this a watch. Like I have never actually watched a full movie version of Beowulf. So maybe I need to go down that road and discover that story. But please, if you love me and you care about my mental well-being, please kindly hand me the largest Snickers bar that you have.
Oh, no.
Oh, this is going to get real here.
Here it goes.
And I want to preface this by saying the actions that this movie has taken against me and everything that I hold dear, I do not hold against Sir Anthony Hopkins. He is not to blame for Transformers: The Last Night. The final indignity on the corpse that was the Transformers live-action franchise as directed by Michael Bay. Oh, here we go. I have so many problems with this film. First of all, Earth is not Unicron. Unicron is a world-devouring transformer, not Earth. Not Earth. No. Tell me you didn't watch Transformers the movie without telling me you didn't watch Transformers the movie. It is freaking Transformers lore. Not Earth. And then we have Transformers in the time of King Arthur? And there's Merlin? We need Merlin's magic staff or whatever to stop, Cybertron from destroying Unicron Earth? No. And why the does Hound have a beard and is smoking cigars? Michael Bay had the opportunity to bring to the live action screen my childhood. And the first one has its charms. It does. The second one is a steaming pile of shit. The third one, I can forgive the third one. I didn't mind the third one. And it progressively got worse and worse and worse from there, leading to this. This is digging up the corpse out of the grave and then humping it. That's what they did with this film. And the worst part is they drag poor Anthony Hopkins into this. There's Anthony Hopkins watching the corpse humping that is Transformers: The Last Night. Doing his best. I'm not okay.
No kidding.
I'm not okay.
I think you need a little more than a Snickers bar, maybe like a nice glass of Chianti.
But here's the
Is that a lima beans?
See, I thought about Red Dragon. I thought about Red Dragon as my past, but you know what? Even going back to it, Red Dragon in hindsight has a lot going for it. Julianne Moore had, an almost impossible task of stepping into the roles that Jodie Foster made famous and taking on that kind of role. Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter is just, I hate to use this term, but I'm going to use it anyways. It's delicious the way he portrays Hannibal Lecter on there, right? Even the whole eat your own brain scene out of that film. Okay, you know what? I can get by that, even though the looks not good. But no, Transformers: The Last Night exists. And this is where I take a look at a property like Thor or like Zorro. These properties are parts of people's childhoods. Thor could have been so bad, and yet it was so good. Thor Ragnarok was a little bit out there, but it turned out to be fantastic and fun and popcorny. The Mask of Zorro is such a hat tip to everything that Zorro brought to the screen beforehand. Transformers: The Last Night is a stain on my childhood. And I say this knowing that I have boxes of Transformers on my bookshelf. I have books of Transformers. This is me. I was a Transformers kid growing up. I still love Transformers to this day. I make no bones about it. And I was so excited. And even that first moment in that first Transformers film, when Optimus Prime transforms from truck to actual bot form, and you hear the voice of Peter Cullen, that was cool. That was like, teenage me was like, eee!
Oh, you had a squeam moment.
I did have a squeam because it's the voice of Peter Cullen. And the problem too is that with each progressive movie, Optimus Prime was saying that was so not Optimus Prime. Like, people who grew up, not just watching the Transformers, but that was Optimus Prime was like almost like a role model to behold, right? A leader who always put themselves in front of danger before anybody else. Optimus Prime who tried to do their best to defend humanity in this war against the Decepticons, would always put himself up. This was my hero. And every single movie after the third one was just blasphemy after blasphemy after blasphemy. Bumblebee was good. Don't get me wrong. Transformers 1, all good. With Thor as Optimus Prime, I'm cool with that. He actually did a fantastic job. Bravo, Chris Hemsworth. Rise of the Beast, I enjoyed it. Even though it was starting to get into those Michael Bayism tropes. I am really looking forward to what they're doing with a Transformers and G.I. Joe film. Do not with Snake Eyes. Don't let Michael Bay near that. Go watch The Rise of Cobra. That's how you do Snake Eyes. I am just so glad that Michael Bay is no longer directing Transformers films. This was literally walking into a house, tearing everything apart, and on his way out the door, on the welcome mat.
I am so sorry. I am not okay. Are you okay?
I'm just wondering if my time's up, and we'll continue this session next week.
I have tears. Oh, I'm so sad for you. I'm so sorry.
Okay, but this would literally be, and I want to put this into perspective here. This would literally be if someone made a Gem film and they turned Gem into a Kirkland brand Courtney Love.
Oh, yeah.
Like that, but that's what it would be like. That, or like literally you had like a Care Bears film where they're left alone and finally they start killing and eating people and then start honey dripping down like it's blood and honey.
Don't give them any ideas. Please don't the Care Bears
They're-
or the Smurfs.
No. Seriously, the Care Bear's going to like pull a Godfather, and there's going to be like a My Little Pony head chopped off and left in a bed. That's what Michael Bay would do with a Care Bears film.
Whoo.
Care Bear stare would be like them like plunging daggers into someone's eyes. Like, Care Bear stare, this mother. I'm okay.
Wow, that
That escalated right there.
we took a way wrong turn.
We like to stay positive on this show, unless Michael Bay is involved. But if it's the island, then we could talk good about the island.
I think we need to go back to it's not that bad.
Well,
You need some positivity.
here's the interesting thing. If we were to do Transformers The Last Night, I would be hard pressed to find anything good to say about it.
No kidding. Woo.
That will be like if someone is cruel enough to say, hey, you guys should do like Transformers The Last Night. I'd be like, cool. Carrie's hosting that show and we'll find her a guest. I'm going to go run around the block for a couple of hours.
I think we'll talk to our youngest.
Possibly. All right, Carrie. Before my session is up and I need to book another therapy session, please remind our listeners what your keep, watch, and pass picks are for movies starring Sir Anthony Hopkins.
I am keeping How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I'm watching Thor Ragnarok and passing on Beowulf. Not that it's bad, I just haven't seen it, so I'm going to continue that trajectory of passing.
All right, I am keeping the first Thor film. I am watching The Mask of Zorro, and I am passing on what passes for a Transformers film with The Last Night. See, there I can be less angry. Woosah.
It's not a Bad Boys episode.
Also directed by Michael Bay. Okay.
Woo,
All right.
He is not okay.
I am not okay. Okay, dear listeners, thank you for listening to this therapy session of Jay Goes to the Movies. I feel like this needs to be another podcast here, right? It's not that bad, and then there's holy it's awful.
We can't take him anywhere.
No, that is literally going to be. We're going to have that moment, right? If Michael Bay comes back going, I'm going to direct another Transformers movie. No. Wrap up in a newspaper and whack you on the nose with like a bad dog. No.
Sit him down with a couple of Transformers and let him just, play it out. Let them just explode and he can have a match or light fires to them or something. I don't know.
Because he'll try to film it and put it on the screen. And no. Just no. He will
put him in a safe room.
Well, with like 600 Hot Wheels so he can blow all those up? No. He's cut off. Dear listeners, until next time, you guys know the drill. If there is a topic that you want us to cover on Keep Watch Pass or a movie not Transformers The Last Night that you want us to cover on It's Not That Bad, hit us up on social media or go to our website at notthatbadcast.com. And while you're there, make sure you tune into our music shows, There Can Only Be One, and Spin, Shuffle, Skip. Until next time, she's Carrie, I'm Jay. You guys are awesome. Michael Bay is not. This is Keep Watch Pass on the It's Not That Bad podcast channel, a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. Take care.
Do you love it loud? Come to Rockin' Pod Weekend in Nashville. Rock convention featuring panels, interviews, podcasts, signing sessions, vinyl, pop culture collectibles, and more. Over 30 celebrity guests, members of LA Guns, Accept, Kicks, and more. Live concerts, Nashville Rockin' Fest Thursday, Rare Hair on Friday, Tuck Smith and the Restless Hearts Saturday, Punchlines and Backlines All-Star Comedy Show on Sunday. Full details at rockinpod.com.